Hello dear student, this is Professor Ashok Thumar. I am working in Department of Mechanical Engineering at Dr. Subhash Technical Campus. First of all, you are heartily welcome to our online e-learning video lecture series. And as a part of it, today we are going to discuss a very much important chapter, and that chapter is design of key. Basically, this chapter comes in subject fundamental of machine design, and which is taken by university, especially in fourth semester mechanical engineering department. Dear student, term key is very famous for us in our regular life. We have used numbers of time the key and lock. So ultimately the purpose over that key is to simple lock or unlock the function, but in specifically we are talking about the special term key which is used in case of mechanical engineering discipline. Then it is a simple mechanical component or device which is just connect transmission shaft to rotating members for the purpose of power and torque transmission. This is what the terminology from mechanical engineering discipline. Actually, we know that we all have the experience that, for example, there is an electric motor, and the shaft from the motor is if getting rotated. Ultimately, we require that rotational motion or say torque to some other machinery like lathe. So ultimately, we require to transfer torque or power from an electric motor to that particular machinery, say lathe machine. So if you have seen that the shaft over which there are some kind of rotating members are required for the power transmission. For example, you may have seen that the gear is there, pulley is there, of course sprocket is there. So ultimately main focus that you require to do here is that the key couples or connect the shaft and rotating member which are mounted on that particular shaft. That is simple and sober function of any key. uh, Generally we know that key, if you rotating shaft, then key of course will get rotated, and ultimately key will rotate the rotating members. So in that way one can say that the by virtue of key, the whatever the torque or power transmission is there, it will be positive in terms. Basically for the any drive or any mechanism where power required to transmit can be possible in two ways. One is either you can have the frictional contact between two rotating members or two contacting members. For example, let's have take the bike example, whereas the road wheel or bike wheel is connected with road surface by virtue of friction, and in that way the power of bike wheel is get transmitted to that road surface, and due to that particular frictional grip between both of that members, bike is moving in forward direction. But there is a little bit difference as compared to that bike example. In case of key, there is a slot provided, or we can say that grooves, two grooves are provided. One is on outer surface of a transmission shaft, and one similar slot or grooves is provided on hub of any rotating members. Now suppose there is a key having the rectangular or square or any kind of the cross section. The half portion of that key is inserted in slots of the transmission shaft, and remaining half portion of key is provided to insert inside the slots of hub. So this is the what kind of an assembly being done in case of power transmission by using key. Now if we are talking about the key material, then most and widely application of the key material you will find that is the ductile material. But in some special cases where high torque or power is required to transmit, at that time ductile material should be given something strength so that it can sustain such a high torque and power transmission. So for have to good strength material, the key, the ductile material generally treated by some heat treatment processes, that means hardening and tempering, and after tempered and hardened the ductile material, key is manufactured from this. Look at this slide. You have given two diagrams, especially if you are looking over the top left hand side diagram. There is a 3D model of shaft, key and hub. Look at the shaft side. There is a groove, what I said earlier. There is a groove, or we can say that the slot is provided. Same groove or slot is provided on hub of rotating member. So both of these grooves, two grooves, are fitted a common element, which is generally we term it as a key. So now if you rotating the shaft, definitely key will rotate and it will rotate the hub, and ultimately in that way the power can be transmitted from shaft to any rotating members, say gear, sprocket, or any pulley. Now look at the bottom side, right hand side, the diagram that you are looking. By carefully watching this diagram, the half portion of that key is inserted in shaft, whereas half is inserted in hub of rotating member. You can also see the dimension like height, width, shaft, all are also given in this figure. Then after, it's time to have discussion on various types of keys. Those are particularly used for various machinery and for various purposes. Most among all, that the type of key is used, that is sunk key. Basically, as earlier I have already explained, the key, or we can say that the sunk key, the special feature of sunk key is that the half portion of that key is inserted in shaft, whereas half portion of that key is mounted in hub of any rotating member. So this is sunk key. Now sunk key furthermore classified in many categories. First category or first type of sunk key is rectangular sunk key. Basically its name gives the cross-sectional idea of this type of sunk key. Rectangular sunk key has a cross-sectional area. That means it has not the width and height are equal, so that's why name given rectangular sunk key. One more thing that you should to know about the rectangular sunk key is that look at the figure. Look at especially top horizontal surface of key, it will look like a taper. So ultimately in case of rectangular sunk key, a taper is provided on the top surface of key, and the taper measurement, if you will take, then it will be nearly 1 in 100. That means if length of top surface of rectangular sunk key is 100 mm, then you will find there is a 1 mm of elevational height difference between ends of the top surface of key. So this is what about a rectangular key. Then similar kind of keys come to learn, and that is square key. All categories and characteristics are remain same except the cross-sectional area of this type of key. Basically this type of key has a area of cross-sectional, that means width and height are equal in this square type of sunk key. Then after, there are one more types of key of sunk key, and that is the parallel sunk key. As in case of previous type of sunk key, we have seen that in rectangular case, square sunk key, the one thing was common in that both of the types of key, and that is that the top surface of key was given a little bit taper. But if you are finding that in some cases where the top surface of any key is not given a so taper and top surface is flatter straight away, then definitely it will be a parallel sunk key. Once again, parallel sunk key may have the cross sectional of rectangular or square, and generally it is used in case of the gear with shaft assembly, in case of pulley with shaft assembly, like that type of application you are finding it over there. Now after that, there is a fourth type of sunk key, and that is the gib headed key. Look at the diagram carefully. Generally this type of key has a square or rectangular cross section, but special shape given to head of this type of key. Look at, there is a block type of heighted head with one end is cut in taper section, and special this type of shape is given. The purpose behind this type of shape is design is that it helps or assists to remove any kind of key from the two mating parts. That means suppose there is a complex machinery and there is an intricate part where two shafts or one shaft and one rotating member are required to connect. At that time it will be very difficult if you are using previous cases like rectangular or square key, then it become very difficult to remove or assemble this type of key between those two parts. So ultimately if you provide a special shape to this key, it will become so easy to remove or insert such type of key between shaft and rotating members. So herein the gib headed key finds its special application there. The last category of this type of sunk key is the feather key. Generally feather key has an it is an integral part with shaft. That means if you are finding feather key, then it will be look like exactly similar to those of the rectangular or square sunk key, but herein there is one small difference between those and feather keys, and the difference is that there is a two drill hole provided on top to bottom surface of this type of key, and a set, or we can say that a set screw or a pair of screw is inserted in hole provided. So ultimately here the assembly look like that, the screw assembled shaft and key, and meanwhile key is also mounted in the slot provided in shaft 2. So herein connection becomes so strength and rigid. So ultimately we can say that this type of key, that means feather key, can be used for the medium, moderate or even high power and torque transmission applications. One more thing about the feather key is that suppose you require to move or slide axially your rotating member like a pulley or a gear or sprocket from one end to other end, this kind of the key provides axial or sliding alignment or sliding movement to those rotating members. So it is the special case and gives the special application. Then after one more types of the keys, that is the saddle key. In previous case we have seen the sunk key and its type. Now it's time to have the little bit discussion on saddle key. Saddle key, generally if we are talking about the assembling of its shaft with hub, then it's very simple. Only slots which is caught in rotating members hub in case of if you are using saddle key. That means clearly that there is no any kind of slots provided on outer peripheral surface of shaft if you are using saddle key. Then one may have the question that how power or torque can be transmitted from shaft to rotating member. Dear friends, it's a very good question. If you have the basically torque or power can be transmitted by virtue of friction between outer surface of shaft and bottom flat surface of key, whereas the same power is transmitted between key and slot provided specially in rotating members. So this is the way in which the power can be transmitted. One more thing that we should to discuss herein, the saddle key is the only one key in which you will find such type of connection. That means between shaft and the bottom surface you will find frictional grip, whereas between hub and top surface of the key there is a contacting contact, there is a rigid contact, we can say that. Furthermore, the saddle key is classified in two subcategories. One is a flat saddle key and other is hollow saddle key. If you are looking flat saddle key on left hand side given, then you may easily understand that in case of flat surface key, the horizontal surface of this type of key is generally made flat. So that means that bottom plane or bottom surface of key is directly mount on outer peripheral surface over here. Whereas if you are finding anywhere there is a hollow saddle key, then bottom surface or bottom plane of that key is make a little bit curvature in shape. So this curvature shape exactly fits on curvature outer surface of shafts. So this is the kind of the types of flat and hollow saddle key. Then after third categories is known as a tangent key. As name highlights the function and its location, this type of key is generally mounted on outer surface of any shaft, and it should be mounted in tangent to those of particular outer surface of shaft. Basically this type of shaft are used in pair, that means 2 in numbers, and that's why it is very useful for the high and moderate amount of power and torque transmission. One more thing that you have the idea that this type of tangent key has the one limitation, and limitation is that it can be transmit power in only one direction. That means if you require to transmit the power from one directional only, unidirectional only, then and then you can have the application of this type of tangent key. Then fourth types of key is the round key. Its name gives its circular section that the round key has, as shown in the figure. Top half portion of this round key is mounted inside the same female type of circular slot made inside the hub of rotating members, whereas the remaining portion of key is inserted in same slots provided on top surface of shafts. So in this way one can have the connection between shaft, round key and hub of rotating member. This type of the special shaft key is used whenever there is a low power or torque are to be transformed from one place to other place, then we can have the application of this type of round key. And after completion of the types and classification of key, right now we are coming very much important subtopic, and that is design of key. Dear friends, before starting design of key, one thing that definitely I want to share among you, and that is like that design of not only key but any component never means to decide or evaluate some geometrical parameters. Like if you are calculating length, you are calculating width, height, cross sectional or volume of any objects, then it's not truly mean to have the design of that particular component, but the design itself contains few most important parameters. That means if you have designed something mechanical parts, then it should warrant and guarantee about its standard life. Your object or mechanical parts should sustain external load, it have the easy to manufacture and easy to assemble, it can sustain lots of the stress because of lots of external forces and loads, it have the stress generation should be very much low, which should be exactly the less than the permissible or allowable limit, and numbers of things. So this is actually meaning of the design of any component. Look at the screen, design of key. Before starting design, one more thing that I want to say is that over here in this particular lecture we will discuss on specially square type rectangular cross sectional sunk key only. Once you are getting this design procedure carefully, then it will be very easy for other types of the key to be designed. So over here for the functional design procedure and basic fundamental of design procedure, I have taken only one example, and that is the square type of sunk key, and that we will discuss and design in these lectures. Now look at the diagram carefully. There is a one shaft having the diameter d, and at top portion, top peripheral surface, there is a key inserted in it. Look at the dimension of that key. B is the width of key, whereas h is equal to height of that key. Now there is a two forces are acting in opposite direction, P and P dash. starting with that particular force P. Actually, P is the external force which is due to the power transmission. That means suppose the same key and this shaft is mounted on an electric motor, then whenever electric motor rotate, it will transmit torque, and along with that torque there will be definitely kind of forces there. So whatever the forces transmitted by that type of shaft is over here, and it is indicated by P, which is acting in horizontal plane. Whereas look at the top surface of that key, top horizontal surface, there is a one more force, and that is P dash. Actually this P dash force is represent dead weight of rotating member. Now we all know that above this key there is a hub and rotating parts is there. So whatever the weight or self weight of that rotating members have will definitely apply a force in straight downward direction. So P dash herein will represent the dead weight load of any rotating member. Now in order to have a proper design, one have to find the dimension, one have to find the stress. So before calculation of the stress and the geometrical dimensions and other things, we require first most important parameter, and that is the external force P, which is being transmitted through this shaft. So let's have the calculation of external force P, and we know that whatever the torque is being transmitted by this shaft is T, and torque is always equal to force into perpendicular distance. As earlier I said, the force is already given, that is P, and from the that force P to geometrical axis of shaft there is a perpendicular distance, it will be d by 2. So ultimately herein the equation for torque will be P into d by 2. Now from that equation of torque you will easily convert this equation in terms of external force P. So external force P will become T upon d by 2. Now look at the top two diagram, left hand side and right hand side. Actually these two diagrams are representing failure of key. Left hand side diagram, that means diagram A, it will be indicate the shear failure, whereas right hand side there will be a crossing failure. Suppose the key to which you are going to design or using for the power transmission, and if you exceed the torque transmission capacity beyond the limit of the material of this key, then there is two chances of the key to be failed. One is horizontal plane and one is in vertical plane. Look at the left hand side diagram, figure number A. If you are transmitting higher amount of torque and power, then one chance to fail that key is in 2 halves, like that. Your key will fail in this direction. So ultimately if you are measuring that area or looking carefully this area, you can see that this failure area is strictly parallel to external force. So ultimately we can say that this is the area of shear failure, because in my previous video lecture specially taken chapter stress and strain, at that time we have discussed lots of the types of stresses, and especially in which I have discussed about shear stress, its failure area. So whenever you are finding any failure area which is parallel to external force, of course the failure will be shear failure. So same condition is performing by here. So we can say that the figure A is of shear failure. Now if you require to calculate the kind of shear stress which caused the failure, shear failure, then you require to have the shear load upon shear area. Of course shear load is P, and area, that is the horizontal plane, and B into L, that will be your shearing area. So by using that relation you will have the magnitude of shear stress which is produced by power transmission, and this whatever produced shear stress should be always less than permissible shear stress of that key material. Then and then you can say that your design of key in specially shear stress failure is very safe. Now look at the right hand side diagram. Suppose now you design your key very tough in case of shear failure. There is nothing to chance to be happen your key in shear failure. So one more chance to have the failure, and that failure is may be possible that in this area. That means your shear can be failure in two equal halves vertically. One below part, or we can say that below house, can get failure in slot cutted in shaft, transmission shaft, and one remaining top half of that key, it may chance that the hub in hub slot your key will get damaged or fail. So if you are carefully looking at failure area, that means this projected area, then you can easily see that the failure area has the perpendicularity with external force P. Of course, if you are finding such a condition, then that will be the either crushing or say compressive stress is there. So ultimately second type of stress that may possible to have in case of failure, key failure, that is compressive failure. So similarly over here you require to calculate shear stress or compressive, or we can say that the crushing stress required to be calculated here. And for the crushing stress, once again you require to have the crushing load and crushing area. Of course we have already crushing load P and area is like that. That means H area you require to calculate, projected area you require to calculate, and it will become L into H by 2. So whatever the crushing or compressive stress you will find here should be less than permissible crushing or compressive stress of that key material. So these two types of stresses are produced in key, and which should be less than permissible or allowable range. Suppose you are designing a rectangular key, then there is a proportional dimension available in standard table. For example, there is a rectangular key, so width become d by 4, that means fourth part of diameter of shaft, whereas height will be d by 6. And if square key is there, then the same dimension will become the width is equal to height, and height is equal to d by 4. So this is what about the design of key. Dear friends, this lecture in which specially we have covered introduction, types, and finally design of key. Kindly for more detail stay tuned kindly connected with us. If you are finding any query, or if you find some difficulty, let us know. Once again you are very much appreciable for your attendance. Thank you very much for your kind of attendance.